Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder of Path Trading Partners along with Bob Iagino. How is everyone doing? Fed Wednesday. Good morning, Connor. Good morning, George. Good morning, Davey. Good morning, Patrick. Hey, hey, Waka Waka. Waka moving up PM after the early dump, wiping out all the losses and going positive. Going strong is not a good sign. Oh, we'll talk about that in a second. By the way, before we get to that, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing the bell, and hitting the like button. Longer term subscribers, please leave some comments. All right. Remember, big thing, we got the crude and gas and everything numbers this morning. Were really crude numbers. And some gasoline refinery explosion in the Midwest here. BP had to shut down the refinery, so that will be interesting for people in the Midwest. Mortgage applications go bumping up. That was very interesting. So very interesting, and the index coming in a little stronger. So that's really it. I mean, that's everything's getting shrugged off this morning except for crude numbers. And then at 1 p.m. Central, you have the rate decision. Think we're pretty much baked in still with the 75. I really doubt, based off everything Powell's done so far, that they'd go over 75. Again, they laid out 50, 75, data dependent, 75, 75, 75. So the real thing is going to be the press conference, which starts 30 minutes after the decision comes out. Few things to watch for, though, before the press conference. Watch the dot plots, okay? Because this has pretty much got stuff priced in by next March of just under 4.5%. So you start seeing dot plots above there by spring next year, market could react. So just keep that. And if you see dot plots dropping way down or just hovering around 4, I think that's pretty still much baked in. So, but you could see some rally pressure. Let's see. Options 22. Good morning. Good morning, Anissa. I'm going to try to jump on. I don't think I can stay all the way through the press conference though. I will try to get a live stream on. Good morning, everyone. It's time for the FC frigging overdue market crash. Here's the thing. I want to address something else. Let me just get through this. Pretty much mixed, flat. Visa up really nice this morning. General Mills did beat and gap up this morning, by the way. Remember, we're still in negative gamma all the way up to above 4,000. So could you see exaggerated moves? Yes. Now, I just talked about General Mills. I mean, everything after the close will still be flagged by, you got Leonardo and KB Homes, but it's still going to be shadowed by the Fed rate announcement. What worries me to the upside is pretty much everyone I'm talking to, the consensus is it's a no-brainer trade. You just got to buy. Even this morning, we're going to rally, guaranteed in the books. Guaranteed. Last 3 Fed meetings, guaranteed. And the one before that was a little decline, but it was only like 0.12 percentage. So you know what, it's a 2% easy money in the bag to the upside is the consensus. Whenever I hear that, I am very, very cautious. Because, yeah, could we still rally? Am I watching? This is a pretty strong buying. I talked about any dip into this no man's land is getting bought. It's still getting bought overnight. However, when I hear no-brainer trade, guaranteed, easy money, you know what? I really start watching that. Could we get the initial pop, 75 basis points the upside? It's all going to depend on that press conference unless the dot plot comes out really wonky. If the dot plot comes out super hawkish, that's going to be what could trigger, at least with the rate hike decision, more volatility to the downside. Other than that, it's going to be based on uh, the press conference. Okay, I'm just giving people a little bit of caution. By the way, we don't have a double in here. This is just a very sloppy area. Front run. If we are below about 3,900 going into it, that's the front run break to, and then the real break to the upside is right around 3,930. Okay, so you got a front run, real break to the upside. Breakdown, I still cannot do anything till between about 38.45 to 38.40. It's still in that no man's land. So even if we dip after the rate decision, I can't really get overly bearish unless we really start breaking down and hitting a number of stops. To the key areas I'd really be watching. If we do trigger a substantial breakdown, I'd be using 38.10, 37.95, then 37.72. And then I really don't have anything else until we have a pretty big void down there. To the upside, again, I'll be watching, especially if we edge up here. It's that 39, this key area right in here, the 25% harmonic, the declining rotation zone. You start getting above there, the quick trip to 39.50, and then that could be used as stop raise. 39.67 stop raise up in here, this area. Remember, if people are looking, that no-brainer 2% rally. Let's just do where 2% would be. 2% from here starts going about 39.75. You got about 2.5% to the rotation zone. So up in here, that's really the full move if we do go on full-blown rally mode. Now, keep in mind, daily cycles at the bottom and turning up. Weekly cycles trying to turn up. So this could easily reset the daily cycles, and then it's going to be on the follow-through move. So based off technical indicators, divergence and everything, they're pointing to the upside. I'm just very cautious because we got the no-brainer trade. I'll get to the spiders. I'll get to the Qs. Let me just, the same thing as for all the indices. They're all positioned the same. So there's not much difference. Sorry, I had some just levels on there from yesterday still. If we're trading below about 12,000 going into it, that's the breakout, the minor breakout level. The major breakout is 12,100. 12,231, then about 12,236 is major targets. To the downside, again, starting below about 11,800. We got 11,694, and then major 11,529 to 11,473. Dow, same difference. My breakout, though, the front run pattern is above about 3,100. Minor would be 31,030, 3,100, and then the majors 32,220, targets 31,4, and then majors, I doubt we'll hit 31,6, but if you did have a blow your face off rally, there you go. Key support 31,315, oops. And then we have 30,040, and then 39,821. Russell, the major area is getting in about 1830, just in front of 1830, then about 1855. Keep those in mind. 1830 is a real key level I'm watching on there. Russell's the last one I'm going to look to, and then support 1775, and then that's where we use the reverse harmonics. 1716, 1742. Below there, I'd use the forward harmonics from the high back in September. Let's just glance at the DAX. Again, everything's looking Everything's looking to be bought. DAX, I'd be watching for a return to the rotation zone. Really not touching the notes. It would take something above about 114.25. But the key levels to the downside, 113.09, and this isn't for today, but this is the next major level, is about 112.08, 110, 112 to these top. That's going to be more on a short-term basis. Dollar index finally rotating back up in that 110.39 into this topping area. Yes, this is a potential double top. We can map that out later. That would be a monster move. Would it trigger today? That's not going to happen. But it is a potential double top on a continued rally, 111.13, and then see 111, 111.17, 111.15, 111.17, then 111.56 are your key levels. The VIX, pre-market 27. I really can't get into super bearish mode unless the VIX gets above 28. There's a lot of VIX selling pressure. This is now a triple top, by the way. So, but if we start getting super bullish, right now the first level support's 27, and then my target's 25.50 on the breakdown for that. Let's just get to SPYs and the Qs. The spiders. The key support is coming in about 385.50. Resistance, the target on any run up. The target on, you're going to have your key minor level about 388. You can use this. I would still utilize these levels. You got this extra hitch in here, but it's decent on the 4 hour. So I'd still utilize these levels. So above 388.54, we got a target cluster 392.01 to 392. Your minor level before that is 390.50. So those are some of the key levels I would use to the upside. Key support, you can see, is really 385.50 to about 384.80. Below 384, you have major support at 382 to 382.60. Still those old harmonics. Those actually were slightly off. I don't know why these levels keep moving. Does anybody else who's using TradingView have the problem where stuff keeps getting unanchored? It's really weird. By the way, on not just for today, but the minor levels to the downside, this is where you use reverse harmonics. If you did get the more substantial move down, actually, let me just see where these come in. The 380.50, 380.50, and then 379.40. But that's the level. You still have this gap left behind too. So, So let me refine. 386. We're right above there. So going into the open and up through, Fed amounts, your key support's coming in about 386. We break below 386. I'd be watching 384.80. We break below that. I don't have much until about 382.50 to 382. To the upside, first key area would be 388, this little breakdown area, then 388.50, above 388.50, 390.50, and then major, not just for today, would be 392 then you can always use these if you're trying to do a more, hey, let's go through the end of the week rally. 394.04, so 394, and then major, 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 major 50% retracement. This double target, so 385.62 to 395.62 to 395.87. All right, they keep moving for you. Thank you, options 22. They were locked, and they're still moving. They're still moving. That never used to happen before. It must be. I'll have to check to see. Is there a new update too? I'll have to see. The Qs. This. See, this. I updated these virtually yesterday. And they're moved again. Ugh. There's nothing worse. The key stuff on the break. Let me pull this off real quick. I hate when lines move. I'm still going to use the targets too for this also. Let's just see how they come in. Since everything's moved, I want to redo this. Nope. Okay. So above 290, which is your first preliminary breakout, I'd really be, you still technically don't have a full gap fill, so I'd be using 291.20 to 291.46. Above there, let me see how this fits in. Above there, I'd be using 293.60 area. You have a pretty decent resistance ledge right in here, and the 50% harmonic projection. So I'd be using that for a stop raise, 294.65 with the declining 4-hour rotation zone, the 37.5 harmonic, and the 75% extension level. That would be my next target, then 296.03. Do not ignore this first target because it is the daily rotation zone also, this 296.60 area. So if you're trying to do something longer term, and above that, if you're trying to position for a continued rally this week, 297.81 would be my next target. Bearish, we start breaking below about 287.70. And then really bearish, not until we get below about 286. And everything I said, the technicals from the slightly longer term favor a move up. However, my caveat was still as that as I talked about the no-brainer trade. To the downside, the next major level isn't to 281, 282 roughly. So that's my caveat since everybody says no-brainer. We just see, you can see it here. Daily, weekly cycles to the bottom. So I hate trying to predict stuff because, again, we don't predict, we trade, we use the probabilities. If you're forcing me to make a prediction, I'd have to say we're going to pop and then roll over after a very short-term pop. Thanks, Ted. Yeah, it is annoying. Morning, Rams of Fall. Yeah, this is what's silly. This is what bugs me. And there's a lawsuit now against Morgan Stanley, and they're, but these fines, they can pay the fines, and it's a portion of what they can make from the trading. You know what? Until you start really putting people in jail for securities fraud, the banks are going to keep doing it. Hey, especially when the bank pays the fine. Well, this is why our markets are such a friggin' joke. I was reading about, they do it in the metals markets repeatedly, and it's horrible. We have no enforcement. Instead, like the SEC goes after these $100,000 fines, or this guy got insider trading back in 2016 for $100K. Why don't you go after the big things? Because they actually can't do any. It's absolutely a joke. All right, so we looked at that. Bitcoin, if everything rallies on that, we'll still watch for a rally in Bitcoin. The major area I'd be watching is 20,150. Tesla, still holding up. We rally mode 320.78. Nothing's changed. 326.90. Can't at all get into bearish mode till below 292. Tesla, though, looks like it, unless we get a major rip your face off rally, can't. We have a divergence coming up. How about the one-touch option stuff? Well, I don't know what you mean. Yeah, but it's a joke. See, yeah, but you're not fixing the. Yeah, great. Great. They get to keep the fines, but they're not. Then they're not interested in fixing the problems, and they go after the small, low-hanging fruit. They're really not. We don't have any real enforcement. It's like jaywalking fines. You know what? But this is where what the banks are doing a lot of times, it's, we're just a slow morning. It's, there's no incentive for them to really stop. And then worst case, if there is anything that somebody really gets busted for, they throw some junior trader under the bus. Oh, we had no idea he was spoofing trades. Really? Really? What a joke. Good morning, John. John's buying lots of calls. Yeah, they're still not. It doesn't matter. They're not going to do anything. It's just a professional revenue stream for that, and it's just a complete joke. VIX looks bearish. Not really. Not to me. People, the VIX is, this is up, just not really yet. Not at all. It's hovering up because people are using stuff to hedge going into the, you're going to hedge to the downside for the most part. That's why it's still elevated a bit, but everybody thinks this is a no-brainer trade. That's what worries me. What's the news on Tesla? You got Magical Robot Day coming up. Let's all buy it. Yeah, if you started revoking licenses, that would really make a difference. But they're not going to do that. I'll try to jump on right around the Fed announcement. So we'll take a look and we'll try to refine some levels for the press conference. So if I can jump on, if you want to support the channel, do so. No, it's not going to 500. Yeah, Magical Robot Day. All right, I got to go to the open. I'll talk to everyone later. Everyone have a fantastic day. Bye.